Amen. You say it like you believe. God is real. Because he's real in my soul. Amen. Amen. It's good to see the crowd today. Many have come back from their vacation, and we have some visitors. We want the visitors to know that you are our guests. We appreciate you coming by. We hope that your experience here will be such a positive one that you will want to come back again and again. And so we just hope you just relax. We hope you're enjoying the worship service so far. And that we will continue to join in and help us praise God this morning. Now, the lesson that we're going to talk about today is along our theme we've been talking about of being a servant. It's got a little bit of a twist today, a little bit of a change, because I feel that you may think that you're beating a dead horse. But I have one thing to say. Specialists say that you need to hear something 7 times before you can put it to your memory and make it your own. This is only the 4th time. So we need got 3 other times before you can remember what we're trying to say about being a servant. Well, turn with me to Luke chapter 22, verses 24 through 30. Another account about the contention about who is greatest in the kingdom. Verse 24. And there was also a strife among them, which of them should be accounted the greatest. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But ye shall not be so. You underline that. This is not your program. This is not your policy. This is not what you are going to be about. It's not to be so. He that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger. And he that is chief, as he that doth serve. Now, according to Jewish culture, the youngest child or the youngest person had to be subservient to those that were born ahead of them, which the oldest son would then be the one that would be basically in charge if the father died or left or went somewhere else. So when you are in that status, you understand your state. Now, if you want to be a great person in the kingdom, you need to understand your position. You're like the younger child. He that is chief and he that serves. But whether is greater? Which one is greater? He that brings the meat, he that sits and eats, or he that serveth the person sitting and eating? It's a question. Is it not he that sitteth and waits for meat? But I among you as he that serveth. I'm here to let you know I didn't come to sit at the table. I did not come to be served, but I came to serve humanity. Verse 28, ye are they which have continued with me in my temptation. And I appoint you a kingdom, as my Father have appointed unto me. You're eventually going to get something. You're eventually going to find your position. You're going to eat and drink at my table in my kingdom and sit on thrones the 12 tribes of Israel eventually.
Right.
I don't know what it is about humanity. The desire to be great is powerful. It's addictive. It encompasses a person and becomes his or her sole reason for existing. It is strange that embedded in the core of humanity is a desire for recognition, a desire for power, a desire for position. Even if it's not spoken, or even if it's suppressed, somewhere deep inside is a desire to be somebody.
All right.
Now, the disciples and the apostles, they were men from all different backgrounds. Some were fishermen or blue-collar type folks, worked with their hands. Some were professionals, tax collectors and other people. And that's how they earned their keep. Some were political. Simon the Zealot was probably a rabble-rouser and a revolutionary. But that's the person that God selected. And others were unknown. There was a whole group of them. We didn't know what their occupation was. But somewhere deep inside of all of these men, from every facet of life, there was some reason to want to be great. To want to be recognized. To want to be something. And they were looking for Jesus to establish it on this earth. I want to mention it in the discussion, just so you can understand the powerful desire to want to be something in the kingdom. It was a point of contention, a struggle, because they misunderstood the kingdom, but they understood the logic of their times. They didn't understand the spiritual kingdom, but they understood the kingdoms that were before them. They may have been too young to understand King David and Solomon in the palatial palaces of the Jews, but they understood the Greco-Roman understanding about a power and authority and kingship and those who were over provinces. They understood all of that, and all they wanted was just their little piece. Their little piece of the power structure. Go to the next verse. Next thing we see. I put this here, easy to read version. When my wife put this, she said, what is the easy to read version? What is the easy to read version? It is a version that's easy to read. What are you asking me that for? I'm not trying to say that everything in this version is always scripture correct, but I want you to look at something. Verse 27, read it. It's the question. It's the thought question that Jesus brought forth. What does it say?
Who is more important?
Who is more important? You're asking about who's the greatest. I'm asking you who's the most important then. Keep reading.
The one serving
or
the one sitting at the table being served.
All right.
Everyone thinks it is the one being served, right?
Okay, it's kind of like one of those rhetorical, you know the answer. Person sitting at the table waiting on the food is the one being served. Right? Okay, but let's keep reading.
But I have been with you as the one who serves.
That's been my example the whole time you've been with me. I am the one that's here to serve. Now you might want something. You might want to be at the table. You might want to wait for somebody to bring you something. But I have been the one that is bringing it to the people. Keep reading.
You may have stayed with me through many struggles.
Oh, you've been there with me. Through the hard times. Read.
So I give you authority to rule with me in the kingdom.
You want some power?
Come on.
I'm going to give you some authority.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give you some authority to rule with me in the kingdom
the Father has given me.
But guess what? The kingdom hadn't come yet. You can have it, but it hasn't come yet. But when it does come, verse 30,
you will eat and drink at my table. And
you'll be at the table then. You want to be served? You keep talking about, I want to be the one to serve. You'll get to the table when the kingdom comes. You will be serving, and you will have position. You will sit on thrones and judge the 12 tribes of Israel. Your time will come. Your time will come. Next slide. Something to remember. You need to remember this about service. You are not greater than Christ. You are not greater than Christ. He came to serve. And that's what we are going to have to do until the kingdom comes back and is reestablished in heaven. Then we sit at the table. Until then, we serve it. Helping folks. Sharing with one another. You're not greater than Christ. John 13:16. What does it say, Brother Sterling?
Verily, verily, I say unto you,
truly, I say unto you,
the servant is not greater than the Lord.
I don't know why you think you should have anything better than what Jesus had. You are not better than the Lord.
Neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him.
How do you think that you deserve status, power, recognition when I'm the one that should have it, but I decline to have it because I am trying to serve a purpose that God put me in the world to do? Overconfidence underestimates the cost of service. Peter, loving Peter. You know, you ever say to yourself, which apostle I am more like? For some reason, I like Peter. Doesn't always have the right language. Gets down and dirty sometimes when he needs to. Grabs a sword and swipes up an ear if it's possible. I liked Peter. I like him. But he was impetuous, and he underestimated service and what he had to do for God. So in John 13, verse 36 to 38, what does the Bible say?
Lord, where are you going?
This is Peter, very inquisitive. Lord, where are you going?
And Jesus replied, You can't go with me now.
You can't go with me now.
But you will follow me later.
You cannot go with me now. Now, this ain't like stuff like that. You can't go with me now. I remember yesterday I was coming to the church building to do the eulogy or the thing for Sister May and Sister Martin, and the little fella stopped me and said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to the church building." He said, "I'm going with you." I said, "You can't go with me right now." So I told him. But for some reason, when I told him he could not go, he was insistent on going. Grabbed a hat. Grabbed a tie and put it around his neck. Had no clothes on. Had shorts. And he said he was going. And I said, no. First of all, you're not dressed properly. And secondly, you're not going. This is not for you. And this is what Jesus told to Peter. You can't go with me now, but you will follow me later. Read.
But why can I come now, Lord? He asked.
Why can I come? Yeah. That must be human. You don't tell me I can't come. Why can't I come? Read.
I am ready to die for you.
And I'm getting ready to die for you. That's why you can't come. And what else did he say?
Jesus answered, die for me?
Yeah. You know, we sometimes think we can do a whole lot of things. You ever bit off more you can chew? Well, I'll take care of it. I'll do it. Then when you're doing it, you're mumbling. Oh, man, I have to do this, man. I'm getting tired of doing this. But when the time came, you were the first one to say, let me do it. I'll do it for you. Yeah. Here was he saying, I'll die for you. He said, you die for me?
No.
Before
the rooster crows tomorrow morning, you will deny me 3 times that you even know me.
Sad commentary. Forecast. You can't. At some point, you're going to have to deny me. So don't underestimate being a servant.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think of yourself greater than what you really are. You better, as I was watching one of these judges, you better stay in your lane. You better stay in your lane and operate your own car and drive it as best you can down the highway. And try to do the best that you can.
That's right.
Sermon. Brother Lewis, be angry. I want to be great. I should have gave it to you first. But I keep saying I'm going to do that. I want to be great in the kingdom. Greatness is learning to be a servant.
All right.
Learning to be a servant. You see, in this text, they were arguing about who was greater. The word that's used was greater or better. Who is the best? Who is the strongest? Who's the best of all? Who's the greatest of all? Who's the strongest? I mean, they were just arguing back and forth. Jesus addressed the argument and contention, began to give them a history lesson. You know how people are. Those that rule over you and are in charge of you, they do for you, and they're your benefactor. The problem with a benefactor is that they may or may not like you. They may or may not want to do anything for you, and they do it. They can do it begrudgingly, but you still have to give them respect for what they're doing. There are a lot of benefactors that we don't appreciate. Governments and everything else. So we understand about these. So he gave them a little history lesson.
Yes.
But the thing about it is that a benefactor usually does it so that he can look good. Or that he can have a reputation. Build his resume. Gain his respect. But Jesus is trying to let them know that that type of concept is alien to the New Testament. Why am I talking about this? You want to serve God? Then you got to embrace the concepts of Jesus when it comes to serving God.
Exactly.
Three things transpire in this text.